Okay, I'm gonna try this again. For some reason, every time I have done this video so far, all of a sudden it bumps me out and says I'm not logged in, which I don't know. I haven't had that problem before. I've recently started making videos, so I guess I'm not into how to figure out what's going on with that. So, we'll try this again, and hopefully this time the dogs won't want to go outside either. So, anxiety. Anxiety has many causes. It can be due to stressful situations. It can be due to a organic issue. It could be due to past trauma. It could just be to a stressful situation in your life. You could be prone to it, whatever it may be. Um, so I am going to tell you that it's important to try and figure out what's triggering your anxiety, because it's going to better help you to be able to combat your anxiety. Another thing is making sure that you are reacting and trying to control your anxiety before it gets out of control, because once it's out of control, it's very hard to deal with. And if you let it get out of control, then the things that I'm going to tell you right now probably aren't going to work to help you cope. Um, and you may end up having to rely on an SSRI or other anti-anxiety medications like Buspar, Ativan, clonazepam, um, hydroxyzine to help you. Um, there are a number of over-the-counter anti-anxiety helps that you can try. There's Box Remedy anxiety reliever, the tincture that you put under your tongue. I have found it beneficial for low-key anxiety. There's kava kava, there's valerian root, there's 5-HTP that you can buy over the counter at a health food store that can help. I will tell you that there is a lot of research that chocolate is definitely beneficial for depression and anxiety. There is also a lot of foods out there that you can eat that help with anxiety. Things like popcorn build up serotonin. So if you need a snack in the evening, I suggest things like air popped popcorn. Pumpkin seeds are good as well. So those are just some simple things that you can do. Um, Take a look at your lifestyle for anxiety issues as well. Cut down on alcohol if you're drinking alcohol. Cut down on caffeine, um, which promotes anxiety. There's a lot of foods that are high in caffeine as well. Um, Milk chocolate is lower in caffeine, but if you're going to eat things that are like bittersweet or cocoa, um, it's going to be higher in caffeine. If you're drinking tea, make sure you're drinking herbal teas. Even your decaffeinated teas are going to have caffeine. So you have to really look at your body and see how it reacts. Um, I can drink Pepsi and it won't bother me, but I can drink a cup of coffee and that'll bother me. Um, Even certain teas, even though they say they don't have caffeine, I can drink one and drink another and it'll bother me. So it's a lot of trial and error, and then realizing what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and keeping notes for that. Um, Simple things that you can do for anxiety from the start before it really gets out of hand, if it's mild, is simple distraction. Grab a book that you really enjoy and try to distract yourself by reading it. Watch a comedy or some other movie that you find relaxing. I wouldn't sit down and make a day of watching movies because it's not healthy for you. Um, get up and get moving, go for a walk. do some stretching. I do have a link in the file section or the notes section on in the IF Storm of upbeat dance music, Christian music that you can listen to. For that, I highly recommend getting up, getting moving, turn up the music and dance like nobody's watching. There's a lot of research that getting up and moving and dancing is very good for depression and anxiety because it helps your body release endorphins, build neurotransmitters. So that is something that I will highly recommend. If you're not taking good quality vitamins, I highly suggest doing that because with anxiety and depression things, a lot of times your digestion isn't working right, your body's being depleted of nutrients that it needs, your gut is unhealthy. Um, and actually, the gut is the hub. It's like your second brain where a lot of neurotransmitters are created. It's where a lot of your health is originating from. So getting your gut healthy is key. And for that, you can do cleanses, but instead of putting your body through a harsh cleanse, I just suggest eating clean, getting rid of the processed foods, making sure you're eating healthy fruits and vegetables, cutting back on carbohydrates and sugars. Don't eliminate them completely because your body does need healthy carbohydrates like multigrains for building cell walls. Don't go to the extremes. Don't go on one of these keto diets because those aren't healthy for you either. God gave us a way to eat that's balanced and healthy, so I would stick with that. You know, eat your fruits and vegetables, eat whole grains, eat nuts, things like that. Um, watch the carbohydrates. If you're going to eat carbohydrates, make sure you're eating complex carbohydrates and you're pairing them with protein so that you're not getting the highs and lows with blood sugar that will create anxiety. And is also not healthy for your system because it taxes your pancreas and can create metabolic syndromes and things like that, affect your weight. So those are good things. Like I said, cut down on caffeine and the sugary drinks and the coffee and things. Start drinking water. There's a lot of things out there, flavored waters. Like I know that I am really not addicted to the sugar or the caffeine in the sodas. I'm actually addicted to the carbonation. So I really like these Harbour sparkling waters. They are flavored. They come in lemon, raspberry, passion fruit, blueberry, all different flavors, and they give you the same satisfaction of bubbly goodness that you get from soda. So that is one thing that I would suggest. It is very easy for somebody with depression and anxiety to not want to get off the couch, not want to move, and just lay there. I want to highly, highly, highly discourage that. Even if you don't feel like getting up, force yourself to get up. Because if you just lay on the couch all day, you are one, deconditioning your body. So that's going to lead to a lot of problems because you're going to end up feeling short of breath, listless, tired very easily. You're going to start gaining weight, which is only going to compound the problem. It's going to create more fatigue, more anxiety, and at the end of the day, you're just going to feel bad about yourself. So make a list of 3 or 4 things that you want to accomplish throughout the day. Force yourself to get up and do those things. And when you have crossed off those things off your list, then, feel free to sit down. And at the end of the day, you'll have gotten up, you'll have done something. The activity will help your anxiety, it'll boost your mood. And when you look at that list of the things that you've crossed off at the end of the day, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment and positivity about yourself. So please, please, please do not just give in and lay on the couch all day. You're doing yourself a big disservice. There are a number of over-the-counter things that you can do to help with anxiety. I highly recommend that you start taking a complex B vitamin. It's the stress vitamin, and a B12 up to 1,000 milligrams daily. It's not toxic. Your body will wash out what it doesn't need. But the B vitamins are your stress vitamins. So I highly recommend that you start taking a B complex vitamin and 1,000 milligrams of B12. With it, I would take 500 milligrams of vitamin C, along with your omega-3 vitamins, because these will help you with energy. And magnesium. Magnesium is good for the nervous system, so I wouldn't go gung-ho with magnesium, but a good quality multivitamin would have enough for most people of magnesium, or taking just 250 milligrams of magnesium would be okay. There are over-the-counter things that you can take to help with anxiety too. There's kava kava, valerian 5-HTP that you can use. There's box remedy that you can use that works if your anxiety is not super high. I am a big advocate for essential oils. I am a wellness advocate for doTERRA, so I promote doTERRA oils, and that's because I know the quality of the oils, I know where they come from, I know the purity, I know they've been tested, I know that they are the highest purity oils that you're going to get. Please don't go to Walmart or to just a Hobnob store and think that by buying an essential oil off the shelf that you're getting a good essential oil. Most essential oils that you buy at Walmart, at your grocery store, wherever, are nothing more than alcohol, and they're not good for you. So I highly recommend something like doTERRA, even Young Living. I'm not going to put down Young Living. doTERRA and Young Living used to be the same company and they split. But I know that, they should be a high quality company too. Dr. Axe sells high quality essential oil, and so does Rose Mountain Herbs. So stick with them because they're not adulterated, and I know that they're not going to, have things in them that are going to make you sick. For essential oils, there are a number of essential oils that are very good for anxiety, and a lot of hospitals are really starting to use them, and the psych hospital I was in last year also used them. So some of the top essential oils I would highly recommend are lavender, ylang ylang, vetiver is good, copaiba is one of the number ones out there now because it is similar to your CBD, but it doesn't have THC in it. It's also a good pain reliever, good for depression. Balance from doTERRA is good for anxiety and for depression. Serenity helps cause anxiety, and is good to diffuse at night. There's a number of ways you can use essential oils. You can mix them with, always, if you're going to use them topically, don't use them neat with just putting the oils directly on your skin. One, they rub off and they're not as effective. So always use them by mixing a couple drops of your essential oil with a few drops of fractionated coconut oil, which helps to protect them from getting rubbed off and helping them to get absorbed more into the skin. and also protects you if they're a hot oil. You can use fractionated coconut oil. You can use olive oil. You can use almond oil as your carrier. But you just mix a few drops of that and you can put it in different places. You can put it on your neck, behind your ears. You can put it on your wrists, on your ankles, rub it on the bottoms of your feet because you have a corresponding spot on the bottoms of your feet for every organ in your body and every system in your body, so it gets it quickly throughout your system to help relieve symptoms. Um, you can also use diffuser necklaces and put a few drops of it in there, or a diffuser pin, so that you are getting the benefits of that essential oil aroma. You can diffuse it in a diffuser. Please don't confuse a diffuser with a vaporizer or a humidifier. They're not the same thing. A diffuser is meant specifically for diffusing oils. You will end up wrecking your humidifier or your vaporizer by putting essential oils in them because they're not created for those. But diffusing those oils, and I would diffuse them for short bursts. Most diffusers come with a setting that allows it to go continuous or intermittent. I would definitely put it on intermittent, because then it runs for like an hour or two and then it stops for a while and then it'll start again. When I run Serenity at night, I just set it for continuous. So that's another way that you can use it. You can use these little rollers. Past tense is also another oil that is good for anxiety, and you can, these are pre-mixed rollers. You can make them your own and get roller balls to Terracells. The supplies to make them, you can get these things on Amazon as well, but you can just rub it like on the back of your neck, on your ear. You can rub it on your wrists or on your ankles, on the bottoms of your feet. And that's a good handy way. You can put this in your purse and just go with it. So those are just some with essential oils. There are some essential oils that you can take internally. Again, I would not take essential oils internally unless you're dealing with something like a quality oil such as doTERRA or Young Living, where they have been tested and it'll tell you on the bottle how this oil can be used. doTERRA oils always say whether they can be used topically, aromatically, diffused. So pay attention to that because you don't want to use it internally if it shouldn't be used internally. There are foods that you can do to help with anxiety too. We all know that there is a lot of medical research on chocolate and helping with depression and anxiety because it helps build endorphins and boost things like that. Popcorn also is good for anxiety and depression. So if you need a snack at night, use popcorn. And I might have said that earlier in this video. I don't know because I've done this video like 3 times now and had it shut down on me. So if I've repeated myself, please forgive me. Your gut is your second brain, so making sure that your gut is healthy. And one of the number one ways you can do that is by taking a probiotic. Most of your neurotransmitters are produced in your gut. So, detoxifying your gut, making sure you're building healthy flora so that your body is absorbing nutrients appropriately, building those neurotransmitters, being able to build healthy cell walls. So I highly recommend that you get a good quality probiotic, a multi-strain probiotic, not something that you're just going to buy over the counter at your grocery store. They're a little bit pricey. They're probably about $30, but you're not going to get quality probiotics in a $5 bottle. Make sure that you keep your probiotic in the refrigerator so you're not killing off the flora. And I recommend that you take the probiotic at night before you go to bed because your digestive system does most of its rebuilding and repair at night while you're sleeping. You do not have to take the probiotic 30 days out of the month. I recommend taking it 1 week, then a week off, then another week, and a week off, and just keep repeating so that you're taking it 2 weeks out of the month. Or if you're experiencing a high period with anxiety, then take it continually, once a day. There are pressure points that you can use to help with anxiety. There are several of them on your body. You can look up reflexology on the computer. It'll show charts for this and give you those points. I can give you a few of them here. One of the places is right here between your eyes, and just gently putting pressure while you're closing your eyes and doing deep breathing. You can just hold pressure there to help relieve anxiety. You can also move your finger counterclockwise. This is supposed to help calm the brain and all of those rapidly firing nerve cells. And then clockwise helps to reset the brain and revitalize. That's one thing that you can do. There's also by tapping. That third eye area is also supposed to help. You can put pressure on the temple areas while doing deep breathing, and that can help to relieve anxiety. Another spot is by on your wrist, finding the area that has to do with the heart, and that is, it's hard to do on here, and I'm doing it backwards, but measuring 3 inches down from your wrist, which is about the same as 3 fingers width down, and then lift these 2 fingers and then put your thumb where that finger is. It should be kind of centered with where the fold is in your hand, and then gently put pressure there and hold it for about 10-20 seconds and release, and then hold again. And keep doing this, and that can help relieve anxiety. Some people find anxiety relief by holding pressure here on their hand. There is corresponding places on your feet. So, pardon, I'm in my comfy clothes, sweatpants, and jersey and stuff because it's a cold, rainy, dreary day here in Wisconsin, so I really don't care that I'm in sloppy clothes. So I will show you my funky socks, my feet. So right here, right here, kind of to the center and just below the ball of your foot. If you put pressure there, and you can do it on both feet. This is the area of your heart and lungs, and if you hold pressure there, it helps with anxiety as well. Excuse me. If you're dealing with depression, there is a pressure point. Can't turn my feet. A pressure point right here between your big and second toe that you can hold pressure, and that will help with depression as well. Now I'm sliding down on the couch. So and those are some things that you can try. There is another pressure point, which I am going to tell you that is probably the biggest one. It is right here at the bottom of your xiphoid where your ribs come together. Most people think this is like your stomach. It's your epigastric area. I will say, everybody this is what I found, is that everybody has a hub, that place where their anxiety originates. And for me, this point in particular makes the most sense since your GI is basically the center of your health in your being, in your second brain. So this point to me is the most important. And to me, I'm going to call this the hub. This is where all anxiety and stuff is originating. And if you think about it, it might make sense. For me, you'll find that this is the place where you're more sensitive. It may be sore, it may be tender, you feel nauseous. You can feel your anxiety just kind of welling up and spreading out from there like tentacles. It spreads out. It goes to your pecs and makes them tight. It goes to your back, makes your traps and your rhomboids tight. It just flows up your neck, causing tension, headaches. Goes down your arms, making them weak. Down your legs, making them weak. You'll feel nauseous, you'll feel uneasy, you'll feel sick, you'll feel IBS issues, you'll find that it's hard to eat. So I call this the hub. And a lot of times if you're feeling anxiety and you're feeling depressed, if you just take your fist and gently put pressure on that spot, you don't have to push hard, but play with it. But if you put pressure on that spot, you're gonna feel that anxiety and depression almost disappear. That is my number one pressure place that I have found to relieve stress and anxiety. And if it comes back within a few minutes, just put pressure there again. There is a deep breathing exercise that goes along with this. I'd say find a comfortable spot. For me, that's just sitting here on the couch, feeling comfortable. Relax your arms on your legs or in your lap. Just take some slow, deep breaths. Therapists are going to tell you to count to 4 and then blow out to 8. For me, this creates anxiety. I'm not focused on relaxing when I'm having to count for breathing. I am focused on counting, and then that makes me anxious. And I find by counting and doing it their way, I end up getting short of breath and feeling dizzy and lightheaded. So scrap that. And even new research is saying scrap that. If you've got a therapist telling you to do that. Tell them to look at the new research that says breathe normally. So, just find a comfortable spot, relax, take a deep breath, blow it out. Do this a couple times. And then what I want you to do is when you take that deep breath and you breathe out, I want you to imagine that hub as this black hole. And when you breathe out, I want you to imagine all of that anxiety, all that tension that is just being sucked back out of your body and sucked into that hub. And as you continue to do this, I want you to then, once you feel that anxiety and stuff being drawn out of this external part of your body and back into the hub, then I want you to breathe and imagine that that black hole just disappears, it dissipates, it vanishes. And when you get to that point, you should feel like your anxiety is gone and feel comfortable. I found this is like by far the easiest visualization that works. There are other means of relaxation that a lot of people learn when they're in therapy. CBT therapy, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, is talk therapy. You can simply do this on your own by talking with a trusted friend, a pastor, a family member that you trust and just discussing how you're feeling, or sometimes just the fact that you're just out there talking to somebody will help relieve anxiety. But so talk therapy helps. um, when you're in CBT, you can learn visualization um, and progressive relaxation. um, these do work. They take some training, they take some time to develop. They're, I find that they're sometimes hard, especially for somebody with the anxiety mind, because it's really hard to pull that anxiety in and focus it so that you can focus on what you're supposed to be doing. But I will discuss them a little bit here. I'm not going to bring you through it. For visualization, they tell you to sit in a comfortable spot, close your eyes, start out by practicing deep breathing exercises and trying to just center yourself. And then they'll progressively walk you through visualizing yourself sitting by a babbling brook or in a meadow, someplace that you're comfortable. And then gradually have you picture these things in your mind, to picture the vibrant flowers, picture the butterfly flying by you, picture in your mind's eye the water running over the rocks in the brook, so that you can actually start to see it. Visualize the smells in the air so that you start pulling on your other senses, where you actually start to smell the fresh water in the air, and the autumn leaves, or whatever it may be, or the earthly smells. You start being able to be conscious of the sounds of crickets and bees and things. So it's a process. It's mentally building this picture in your mind to the point that you bring yourself into that picture in your mind. Similar to how you get engrossed in if you find a good book, you get engrossed in that book, that you start to feel like you're part of it. That's what you're doing by visualization, only you're doing it in your head, to the point where your senses take over, where you actually feel like you can smell those things, you can taste those things, you can hear them, you can feel the warmth of the sun on your face. That's visualization, and it takes a lot of practice. And for somebody with anxiety, it can be very hard. Because a lot of times, if I'm thinking about a babbling brook, all of a sudden I think I've got to go to the bathroom, or gee, I should start washing the dishes, or I should go do laundry, or I end up getting pulled someplace else. So it does work. It's hard. It takes a long time to become proficient at. There is also progressive relaxation, and there are a couple different ways of doing that. A lot of therapists will have you sit up with your feet on the floor. The reason they have you sit with your feet on the floor is for grounding. Because as you release the anxiety, you're grounding yourself so that it doesn't come back. There are different ways people do this. They do this from the head up, releasing anxiety, so that anxiety, you start by releasing the anxiety from your forehead and letting it go off into the universe. And then you take some deep breaths, and then you imagine that you're releasing the energy from your cheekbones, and you let that go off from your head to the universe. And you progressively keep doing this down until you reach your feet and release that. There's another technique of doing it where you do it the opposite way. You start at your feet and you're releasing that energy into the ground. First, hence grounding. You're releasing it into ground so that you don't take it back. One effective way of progressive relaxation that I have found is imagining that you have like a board or 2x4 at the top of your head, and find a comfortable spot and start out by taking some deep breaths and just kind of focusing and centering yourself, becoming aware of things and allowing yourself to feel that anxiety and where it is. And then picture yourself where every time you take a deep breath and then you breathe it out, you picture that that board pushes that anxiety further down in your body. So, you might take a deep breath, and the first time that you blow out, you only get where you feel like you've pushed the anxiety this far. The next one, you might feel like you've pushed the anxiety down to here, and feel comfortable that you're good here. And then with the next breath, you might feel that your anxiety's gone nowhere and you're kind of stuck here. So take another breath and, just do it again till you feel like that anxiety has slowly gone down, and pretend that that board is keeping the anxiety from going back up. If it does go back up, just, picture that board bringing it back down. But keep doing that until you get to the point where that board is reached the bottoms of your feet and you've released that anxiety out of your body. A lot of the times I find by the time I get to that point, I fall asleep. So that is one way of doing progressive relaxation. Other ways of doing relaxation is focusing on the areas where you're feeling that tension, and by tightening muscles and then relaxing. So if you're feeling a lot of tension here in your jaw, clench your jaw, hold those muscles tight and hold them for about 10 seconds, and then release, and then move your jaw around. If it still feels tense, repeat. If you're clenching your jaw and that's tight, clench your jaw and hold it and really bite down and strain those muscles, and then release. And then after you release, massage those muscles, move it around. The purpose of this is when you get anxious, you tense up, and those channels that cause our muscles to tighten, they have chemicals like calcium and things that go back and forth that cause those muscle channels to lock. So by doing this and tensing up and then releasing, you're breaking those bonds that are holding those muscles tight. And you can do that with your hands by making fists and holding them tight, relaxing them, tensing your shoulders, and then releasing it. And just do that any place that you feel tension. And that's another form of progressively relaxing. So I hope that this video has helped you and given you some ideas for ways to help you with relaxing. If you have any questions, please feel free to private message me. There are a lot of videos on YouTube if you want to try visualization or progressive relaxation. There are a lot of videos on there where therapists walk you through a visualization scenario or walk you through progressive relaxation. You can try those. Again, there's also a lot of relaxation music out there on YouTube. Again, visit my the files and the notes section of In the Eye of the Storm. There is a file there for relaxation music and one for dance music to help you burn off that anxiety and adrenaline as well and boost your mood. So again, let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if you found it helpful. Try those things. Let me know if you tried them. Message me if you have any questions or need more information. I'll be happy to help you. Um, so with that, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to hope that it's not going to rain, and I am going to go do some cross stitch because that is one means for me to relieve anxiety. And I'll admit today I am dealing with anxiety myself with some recent choices that I've made and with the recent issues with the issues surrounding the videos that I just put up. So keep me in prayer. I'll do the same with you. And God bless. Have a good day. Take care. Feel free to go in the group if you need to talk privately, or again, private message me. So take care.